It has been so long since I've made a video, and I am so excited to get back into the flow. Hi, if we haven't met before, I'm Sana. I am a feminine embodiment mentor, and I am also the co-founder of Growth Club, which is a private membership community in LA for private dinner parties and social gatherings for conscious humans to come together and have beautiful, nourishing conversations. If you're in LA and you're looking for community and connection and personal growth, then check us out. I'll put the link below. So there's a couple reasons why it's been 5 months since I made my last video. 5 months ago, I moved into this new place. It's down the street from our old place, but I really wanted to just tap into the energy of this home and really ground myself and really just like take my time. And I was also building Growth Club. I'm building it in a really different way. And I'm really excited to dive into this new era that I feel like I am in, that I have embodied, because I have learned so much of my past has come up, and really I've had to face a lot of my programming around hustle culture and about performing and about receiving and what does abundance look like and what does it feel like and how does it like to flow in my life. And I've really just been sitting in surrender and in flow of the way I'm building this business, which is so unlike anything I've ever done before. So like many of us, I was an ex-hustle culture girl who got burnt out in corporate America and took some time off from work. Then I took time off again, and then I came back, and then I took time off again. So I've been in this cycle of getting into alignment with the feminine path, because it's not as simple as learning about it and then implementing it. When you choose to do life differently, so much of our old programming comes to the surface to be looked at, to be alchemized, and to be transformed. And transformation isn't a one and done. You step into it, you see how you are in that new space of not leading from your logic and your programming and the strategy and the analytical and the logical, and instead you tap more into the heart and the intuition and the feeling and the guidance within. And then you question yourself, you doubt yourself, and all of these things are completely natural and normal, because they're coming up for you to go deeper into that self-trust and self-knowing and that unwavering knowing that your inner guidance knows best. And I'm human, so there's times where things aren't going as quickly as I want them to or flowing the way I want them to, and I find myself stepping into the place of doubt and insecurity and fear of what if I'm delusional, what if this is all in my head, and what if I'm not meant to have the life that I desire. Even though intellectually I know that we create our reality, and as long as I want something and desire it, there's a version of me that already has it, and all I'm trying to do is collapse time between those frequencies and call in that life here and now. Even though I intellectually know all this and how consciousness works and how quantum leaping works and how the universe works, I still find myself, because like I said, we're human. And I've noticed that when these things come up, it is because I am learning the lessons again and again to master them so that I can teach them, I can guide others through it. Because if I was to just get over it and be in this place of flow for the rest of my life, I wouldn't have mastered the tools and practices. When it comes to leading the feminine way, it is so imperative for you to know your body intimately and to know what you need, and to have your toolbox kit available to you and at your disposal. It requires a lot of like nervous system regulation. It requires a lot of tapping into your emotions and really connecting with your authentic self beyond the fears, beyond the programming, and beyond all of the initial stuff that is coming up. So why am I talking about this today? And why am I coming back onto the podcast? I want to help women build abundance, create a legacy, and leave an impact the feminine way. I am so passionate about this. I've made it my entire life for the past 5+ years. I have seen incredible results in my business, in my relationship with my husband, in my relationships with my friends. I am attracting people that are in alignment with me and personal growth and just like expanding me. I am creating the most soulful friendships and going on trips. I feel like I'm in a place where I finally get it. I understand nervous system regulation is the key to everything. If I want to call in more abundance, or if I want to have deeper relationships, I must expand my nervous system so that I can receive and hold what I'm desiring. So I want to come back to this podcast with new tools and with more ancient wisdom that has been unearthing and arising from within me. I feel ready now to share this with you guys in a way that can make sense and land, and you can implement it into your life. Versus before, I was doing trial and error and being like kind of doubting myself of like, oh, is this like too good to be true? Like, can more rest really lead to more money and creativity and all this stuff? And I really wanted to walk the walk before I come to talk the talk. So let's get into it. First things first, I really want to talk about good girl programming and conditioning, because that was something that really came up in me, especially as I stepped into this role as CEO of this company. I wanted to make sure that I was delivering on things that people wanted. And if you talk to any founder of a company, they will tell you that people don't really know what they want. You as the leader are supposed to know what they need and then deliver that and give that to them. I didn't know what that meant until I was building Growth Club, which is again a membership community, so people are paying monthly. So I'm like, okay, what do people want? What do people need? What's the difference, and how do I find the gap? I thought people wanted these really fancy elevated experiences, private chef, the fanciness of it all. And I realized that one, it's not sustainable for us to offer a private chef every single month. And then I got really worried about, would people still think that there's value in this membership if we're not doing a private chef, but instead we're doing like a fun arts and crafts event or a really cute brunch or a really cool pizza party, and like dialing it down. So I'm learning that as the founder and CEO, it's not about perfectionism, it's about trial and error. So really getting into this place of seeing on paper, this sounds better, but in actuality, this is more sustainable. So as I'm building my business, I have to pull back and look at it from a greater perspective, from a higher perspective, and trust that it's going to be okay. A couple weeks ago, we had our first brunch that was not a private chef dinner, and everybody said that the brunch was their favorite event so far. It was no frills. We still got together and we had our conscious conversations, which is the magic sauce of what we're building at Growth Club, which is to create a space where you go beyond small talk with curated conversation prompts focused on the theme of the month. I realized that that is the magic that we're creating at Growth Club, and it's not about the way it looks, it's about the way it feels. And again, this is so prevalent in the way that we show up as feminine leaders versus masculine leaders, because the masculine is all about the strategy and the how and the perfect way to deliver a speech and the perfect way to say this, stepping on others in order to be the best of the best. And the feminine way is the complete opposite. It's about connection, it's about community, it's about nurturing, it's about really diving into the feelings of it all and the heart space and connecting heart to heart, not being the leader of something and being this like authoritative figure, but instead being somebody who taps into the energy and says, this is what I'm feeling that is present, this is what's needed, this is what is important, and then providing that for the people. Going back to the programming of it all, my perfectionist brain was like, oh, if I don't deliver exactly the way people want it, then I'm going to fail. And then I had to try, because financially we couldn't afford the private chef dinners, and surrender to the outcome. And then the way it was received was beyond my wildest imagination. And that's exactly how this feminine energy works in relationships, in leadership, in your everyday life. It's not about knowing the outcome, it's about trial and error, following the voices and nudges from within and hoping for the best, but letting it go of the outcome. That's detachment. And it works in so many different ways. And our programming is what gets in the way of like, oh, I need to know how this is gonna end up. I need to know how this is going to work out. before taking action, when in reality, nobody actually knows how things are going to end up. You just have to try and hope for the best. The more we practice this and the more we do it over and over and over again at work or in our relationships or in our everyday lives, the more you master it and the more you master the unknown, the more you get to dance with the unknown, the more you get to play with the unknown. And really, like, not every single time is going to be this magical thing, but more likely than not it is, because you're trusting your inner knowing over the programming of your logical mind. So my programming was telling me people are paying a monthly membership fee and this is the experience that they're expecting. Don't sway from that. But then my inner knowing was saying, just try a different way that can make you more money and deliver an even more magical experience. And I was like, how is this going to make sense? And then I was like, you know what? I have always followed my intuition over the programming of my logical mind, and it has always turned out in the most amazing ways. Like when I chose to live in my own apartment while being happily married, it literally made no sense. And instead, it actually ruffled feathers with friends and family, but it also created this incredible impact and the whole viral moment and like inspiring people to think about marriage and relationships from a third perspective. And same with this. It's like, okay, it's a private membership community and everybody's offering these luxurious experiences, but what if we just did things differently? What if we didn't focus on the tangible and instead focused on the energy, focused on the feeling, focused on the experience rather than the perfect Instagram photo? You know what I mean? The more we detach from these superficial things that we think matter and like we think people care about, and instead tap into that deeper inner knowing that like, no, people actually need something different and need something more. They don't know. You have to be the one in leadership. And that's what it means to be a feminine leader, is that you trust and honor your intuition over what other people are telling you what to do. I know as an entrepreneur, that is the hardest thing for so many people, because you just want like a coach or a mentor or a guide or a friend or a partner or somebody outside of you to give you permission. Everybody outside of you doesn't have that vision and that knowing that you do. So even if you try to say like, oh, I have this vision and I have this knowing, what do you think? People are going to be like, no, take the safer path, because they want you to play it safe. But as a feminine leader, we're here to break and shatter paradigms and to really try different things so that we can create a new paradigm, a new way, a new earth, and really dismantle the patriarchy and capitalism and the old way of being so that we can have this new shift. That's what it means to lead from your feminine. And it's not about gender, it's not about male, female, what have you. It really is about a hierarchical, superficial, transactional way of leading versus this more holistic, cyclical, really knowing and tapping into this deeper inner knowing and following our hearts and our intuition and their inner knowing over what has been done over and over again. And then that's how you break cycles. That's how you break patterns. That's how you get out of this autopilot, stuck energy and start creating something totally awesome and radical and magical. So I hope you guys are excited for the new direction that I am taking my channel, because as I'm learning and mastering more of this feminine leadership, I really want to talk about it. I really want to create offerings around it. I really want to help people tap into their inner knowing over the strategy and the marketing and those fear-based tactics that everybody is using in order to make a lot of money. And I'm here to make a lot of money, but also do it with integrity and grace, and do it in a way that's more fun and connected, that doesn't make my soul cringe. And if you're also on the path of wanting to make a lot of money, but in a way that feels grounded and connected and fun and rooted in love, I hope you hit subscribe, because I am so excited to dive into this new space where I feel like I left corporate America in 2018. I built my first community and I learned so much. And then I mastered my marriage through my experience of living apart together and finding a new way to make love work. And I feel like now I'm on my way to make success work in a completely different way. And I want to bring you along for the ride. I am not a millionaire yet, but I have the millionaire mindset and I am calling it in, and I'm doing it in a way that feels really, really good. And I'm enjoying the journey on my way there. I feel like I have everything I need. I have so much gratitude for the universe for providing me with the environment, with the people, with the opportunities, with the tools and the resources that I need in order to trust my inner knowing over sitting in fear and trying to strive for something that doesn't feel authentic. I want to have an authentically rooted journey to success and love and freedom. And I hope you'll join me. And if you're also on the path of wanting to have abundance and joy and bliss in a way that also makes you feel good, hit subscribe, hit like, hit follow, all the buttons, and let me know down below how you are calling in the feminine way to bliss and how we can merge the good of both so that we can come into harmony in the middle and find our way to alignment. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. This episode is all about the programming of our logical mind and our subconscious programming and rewiring that so that we honor the nudges of our soul. And I'll see you guys next time.